Hey everyone, it's Rose Crystal, and I'm back in another episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Last time Sayaka met her end, and now we have to figure out who the killer is, because it's certainly not us. Let's go. We have to figure out who this killer is, because if we don't, we all die here. And if not, and if we do figure out who the killer is, only they will die. And as cool as it sounds, it's our job to make sure they don't leave here alive. You're late, Makoto. We've all been waiting for you. And I bet you were afraid we'd discover this murderer you are.
Listen to me!
Don't come to conclusions just yet. Save that for the class trial. Then get all the news from Makoto's crime. So they convinced I did it, but I didn't do it. Me and Sayaka both know that all too well. But then, who is the killer? The one who murdered Sayaka. Is it really one of us?
Is everyone here? Okay then. Please board the elevator in front of you, which will transport you to the courtroom, where all your fates will be decided. I'll meet you all down there. I'll be waiting.
He seems awfully excited for this. I guess I have no choice to get on this elevator.
Well then.
Let's begin.
Yes, indeed. Hey,
Are you scared? No, scared isn't quite right.
Makoto.
I said it before, but let's do it over the mystery sign you think about. If you don't, then you never see the truth. I was out for the truth side of death. I don't need someone else to make me do that. And Sayaka's on it. I swear I'll find the real killer is. Then I was trying to get myself courage. I turned, trembling with anticipation, toward the elevator. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. I was still in the elevator when I finally stepped out. The doors closed, and the elevator started to move. Steel boxes and heavy clunking sounds toward the school's basement. I wonder if this is how a death row inmate feels when he's confined by the house.
Oh!
Rather than that, is it not more like a defendant waiting to receive his judgment? Isn't that the same thing? Oblivious to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further to the bowels of the school. Then again, what do I know about this? Finally arrived. What do you think? This is like a real courtroom? It's like a Hollywood movie set, right? Not even close.
Well now.
Okay, I'm fine here. Time to sit down.
Yahoo!
Hurry up! Everybody sit and find their seats. Seems to arrange in a giant circle. It's set up so that everyone can see everyone else. It's also meant to be used anywhere to transfer attention to the need. The air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there. So the court on our first case open. A deadly judgment. A deadly deception. A deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle. A deadly defense. A deadly fate. A deadly class trial. Let's go. Steady your aim a little. That's good. I want to put that on. I'll read the little inscription down there in a second. Increases damage. Alright, that's all we can load for right now. So let's save that really quick. Okay, where does that skip on? And what about the Blackens who's actually responsible for Sayaka's death? I'm trying to read as it comes on the screen. Anyway, let's do this.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand!
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Once I agree with Mondo, nobody would do that.
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier.
Friendship penetrates? Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I'd be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. As things progress during each class trial, you'll engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another, without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried in their statements. Which this means is that you have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during the investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use your left stick to aim, then fire with the Y button. Pay close attention to each character's statements, and use your truth bullet to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you'll automatically fail, so please be careful. You can start our creator's arguments and review the controls. Well then, good luck, and have fun!
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already. And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, it's wrong!
Yeah, that lagged a little bit.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
I would think it'd be obvious.
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Well, you gotta remove every piece of possibility out of the way.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
It is. We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon!
So the killer used some random knife they had on him.
No, that's wrong!
That's also wrong.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach.
I think you can see the weapon sticking out of her stomach.
And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Yeah, the black handle with all the dots on it. That's a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
Alright. I'm done with people blaming me. Let's show them wrong.
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second. I'm
not the killer, my guy.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Thank you, Jerry.
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not gonna change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
Yeah. Again, it's gotta be breaking science based on survival. And I know damn well I'm not the killer. This is what I learned about non-such days. Like to hear more? Absolutely. You can concentrate by holding down the RB button. While you're concentrating, time will slow down, so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge. And if this gauge empties, you cannot concentrate. The focus gauge will cover over time, so let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. Well then, good luck and have fun.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret.
Nobody was...
I have a witness.
No, that's wrong. Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness?
See?
What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Yes, stand up to me. Come on.
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
We went to go get some tea in the kitchen last night. All the knives are still there. When I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives is gone. You're saying the knife is still there in the fridge and your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah,
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
no, I don't think so.
There's no time for I don't think so. Is it yes or no?
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
Thank you.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl! Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Dude, you just gave out a vital detail.
Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Exactly.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife? Hina seemed the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall. No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
I can.
That's right! Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
You were trapped in here for 3 days. I'm pretty sure you get to know everyone at that point.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well,
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
There you go, you're learning.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
But they're both girls.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
Don't worry, Taka, I made that mistake too.
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? Are you talking about...
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? This person took the knife to the kitchen was...
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility.
Because you just said she took the knife.
And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
Crap.
What?
See? He did do it after all!
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
Damn, if we don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't you understand? They convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? As things advance further in a class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the left stick to aim, and press the Y button to shoot the desired letters. If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. If this gauge reaches 0, or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck, and have fun! Something that should have been seen, but wasn't. That must be the key somewhere. Let's figure out what that something was.
Understand? That's right! There wasn't a single hair on the floor!
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room?
That's true.
It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Ha ha ha! Yes, very true, very true!
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I love that sprite of hers.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom.
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
Goodness gracious, it's lagging. The bathroom doorknob.
I got it!
And it is lagging hard.
Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room?
If he knew how the bathroom door lock worked, I wouldn't have to break it.
But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
Oh crap, I paused it.
You still don't see? Okay then, let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it's a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that our key point there? Because if we want to learn about non-stop debate for here anymore, from here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth ball on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important, because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You have to rely on your own logic to determine what weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. But good luck and have fun.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
There's no lock.
No, it's wrong. The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door, that's not lucky at all.
We didn't ask for your opinion.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
The killer's convinced the bathroom door was locked, so they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail of the scene of the crime is what they didn't know was the crime took place in their room.
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Save what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room,
then there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Exactly.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door open.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
Why would you do that?
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Then we all.
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
Majority rules?
Do you really think that's a good
You
idea?
guys have zero idea on who the culprit is, so why would you put a majority vote on it?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you
don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
Look how scared she was. Why do you think she would drop it?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
Because she asked me to name a ticket because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. So I decided to let someone in because we swapped around.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes to you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open the door for anyone. If I'm sure it's you, ask someone else. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
That could be a very defined possibility.
Huh? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
Something I wanted to talk to you about. That's up to you. In 5 minutes, continue in my room. Check the name place, make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil, and these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention. Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
No, that's wrong! The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Nope.
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
Some person who could have switched the nameplates. The only person who knew we had switched rooms.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong name. Room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her! We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Because... there's some gold next to it.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword, right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room, and what led to Sayaka's death, that's what we need to make clear. I know what non-stop debates like to hear more. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Yeah, I'm gonna say it really quick before I go. Oh, I can't. Starting the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually repeat the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to repeat each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the LB button to rotate the cylinder and shoot which bullet to fire. Press and release the LB button to cycle through each bullet. Or you can hold on the LB button and use the left and L stick to select a specific bullet. By the way, a lot of difficulty is set to time. Fewer bullets will be loaded into your cylinder. For more purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to medium. Well done. Good luck. And have fun.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No, that's wrong! Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead! Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
So what did he say earlier?
I think I get it! So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
So she never used the sword? You want to use the sword? What part of your body would you have to touch that? Her palm.
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean. So I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it at all.
Seems like also going with her hands because the water was off.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
It's been 5 days. Take a dang shower.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
Insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Oh my goodness.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
Plot twist.
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own. She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
That was very true.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplate. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out, while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Really? All over? Obviously I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Are you sure about that? I think there's one very important clue.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, it's wrong! There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Alright, well,
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
no, dying message.
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Why would anyone else write a dying message like that? And I can prove it.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not...
Of course.
Okay.
It's because they're not numbers.
Yes, on the program, I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers. Okay, I accidentally skipped this.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it. It's no use. I just don't know.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Huh? Rotate it? I think... maybe I see something. If you flipped it upside down right now in your head, what do you see?
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
Sayaka's dying message reveals the real killer's name. If you turn her message 180 degrees, It's become crystal clear. I'm sorry, man.
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N. Or more accurately, Leon.
You're screwed, man.
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence. It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
Nope. I looked at it myself. It is your name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
Hopefully you're not stabbed in the game.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
What?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right! There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so. I got it! If you look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either.
Are you sure?
You need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There has to be another. There's another way to use something I don't even know. That's exactly what proves that Leon is the real killer. Oh, bam.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to...
No, that's wrong! Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
But how would you use it?
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone threw that through a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi? Hifumi had the key. So the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
Nope, no more excuses.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small. Could someone really do that?
That's right! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is... I got it! Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I
actually feel bad for him. But I'm sorry, man.
I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered. And the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
Closing argument at the beginning. Every case is one last element to bring the class trial to an end. This is the closing argument. In this phase, we give a complete summary of the case. Let's reproduce the flow of events in the case in the form of a comic book. However, you'll notice that in the comic, there is no repeats missing. It's up to you to complete the comic using the divided truth panels. Also, if you take aim at this section and press the A button, holy cow, you get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Well then, good luck, and have fun. Alrighty. What went on? Since I can tell you and notice something in my room.
Exactly what happened. I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning.
It'd be embarrassing if I got any of this wrong, yeah.
Last night, the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them. She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier. But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist. And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing. So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka.
But she was writing a dying
But with
message.
what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood. Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there, but the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he'd left in the laundry room. The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw. But the killer had the confidence to take a shot, and that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief.
He would have totally gotten away with it if that shirt piece did not fall out.
But there was one thing they missed. Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator. The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence. Isn't that right, Leon? It would appear that Hiro simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right? Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object!
What are you, Phoenix, right?
I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
Do I have the evidence? First full-time battle once again. You have to know more? Sometimes during class trial, your opponent simply won't want to hear what you have to say. When this happens, you'll engage them in a head-to-head battle. I'd like to refer to this as the bullet time battle, aka the BTB, BTW. During the BTB, you want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the rhythm. Match your button press to reach tempo markers and move across the screen to reach the center. Press the A button to lock on your opponent's statement. Destroy these statements blocked off to with the Y button, tempo marker reach the center. Use this method to deal damage to your opponent. If you can't pull it off, you'll be the one in pain. Use this consecutively when you start a combo. Keep this going and turn your tempo up. On the flip side, if you keep missing, you get into a tempo down situation. When tempo changes 70 times, you hit the inhibitor stop. So watch out for that. Deal enough damage to your opponent, and their weak spot statement will appear. At this point, you can press the Y button to shoot down the truth bullet, like any other statement. Beat the statement fast enough and you'll come out victorious. Do it just like before. If the influence guide reaches 0, 1 at a time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun.
When the killer removed the screws from the doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. Instead, they must have used something that belonged to them.
I refuse to acknowledge you! You're stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid! Stupid, 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 stupid!
And you are stubborn, 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 stubborn. I've shown indisputable evidence that Leon's killer. You didn't figure it out.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lied! Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance!
Done.
Where's your proof?
This should prove it.
The screws on the bathroom doorknob were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove them.
I mean, it had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Peanut's a pointy thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh? And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid. Stupid.
Oh. Damn it.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
And a perfect run on camera. That, my friends, is a lifelong goal. Anyway, I know I felt like I was really against Leon during this chapter, and I am against most killers, but I really do feel bad for them. I mean, they were forced to kill.
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection. Oh, just to remind you all, make triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited!
I think you're the only one that's excited here.
Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice? Or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
So you got it right on the money. The blackened in this case, the one that killed Sayaka.
Yahoo!
Leon Kuwata.
Huh?
Yeah, sorry now.
Hey, hold on!
Hold on a second. Leon,
But...
I don't believe it. Oh. Okay, there you go. The Xbox Live thing came up again. I don't believe it.
You son of a bitch!
Son of a... What the hell is wrong with you?
I didn't have a choice.
You had all your choices. It was killer beast.
So, that's why...
I told you too.
None of you are any different!
For about 7 years, you don't understand me. Look at me. Can't look like him.
I was just... unlucky. That's all.
Talk to me and look. How about you look at me and then look at me?
Hey! Come on!
You're stuck in to accept my ducks? I understand that position. I didn't become clear. The decision I made was right after all. When I think about it, honestly I'd be better off doing it wrong. Something that became was really the truth. Not truth, but Sayaka was trying to bring me. But even if that's true, I can't say she was wrong. After all, the masterminds. It's all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in there. If I was her, and the video actually had something to do with me, I couldn't even imagine. Now we're trapped here, with no way out. They're probably waiting for me.
Why?
I can't be stuck in here. The only thing that was more important to her than anything else, her dreams, her friends, to see something like that happen to them, and Sayaka. I did whatever it took to reach that dream. I mean it. Even some things that weren't so present. And that's with Sayaka. For the friends that meant so much to her. That's why she betrayed me. So when she said,
No matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
she was lying to me from the very beginning. She was using me. Is that why she talked to me in the first place? I guess I'll never know. Because there's nothing I can do to ask her what she was thinking. Once you're dead, that's that. Boy, howdy, the entertainment industry must be sure be terrible. Because I cannot read. Boy, howdy, the entertainment industry must sure be terrifying, huh? I need to try and kill someone just because of those relationships.
Ba-bum.
She seems so nice and lovely on the outside, but inside she descended into pure madness. What did you say?
Phew!
I understand, really I do, yep. You're just utter despair thanks to Sayaka's betrayal, right? Compassion, intimacy, love. The stronger those feelings, the stronger the despair will make a lot. Stop screwing with us, it's all your fault. Sayaka being forced to do something like that. All of it, everything. It's all your fault. Suddenly in a frenzy at lunch at Monokuma. No, that's not smart, dude. But...
That's enough.
Thank you, Kyoko. As angry as I was, Kyoko lashed on my arm without hesitation. Her grip was like iron, and not that I was sure it would leave a bruise.
Calm down.
If you really want to make her enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let it go for now. Damn it!
Ba-bum.
That was a close, and I thought I was giving you a good walloping. Just barely avoided punishment you did.
Yes, indeed!
Magnificently revealed the identity of the killer during the class trial. The blackened, I cannot read. The blackened Leon Kawada will receive his punishment.
Punishment?
Oof.
You mean execution?
Yep.
Wait a second!
I didn't have a choice. I had to kill her.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just protecting myself in the moment. It's self-defense. Maybe the first few moments were, that was self-defense, sure. But you stabbed her of her own grief of your own free will.
Is that okay?
How exactly was it self-defense? You forced the right to the bathroom. Did you or did you not use your very own toolkit? After she shut herself in the bathroom, you went on your way to come back to your own room. Then you came all the way back, broke his pitch jacket and killed her. Am I wrong?
Do you understand?
Any number of chances to stop what you were doing. Exactly. You chose not to. If enough that you're inclined to think it's not murder.
So, that's why...
Stop it. I've had enough of it.
Oh!
Oh, are you sure? You're close to her than anyone you know. You told her from Sayaka. You understand? I can't say again, I'm still with her. But of course I don't plan on blaming Sayaka either. Because... you want to play with him.
Huh?
What? Or for you, this never would have happened to Sayaka or Leon. You should be fighting each other. You're fighting against a really punishment situation. The mastermind.
Unbelievable.
Justice.
Hey,
After all, sure, that's sort of mentality that comes to war over the world. The kind of justice that we're raising within me. Shut up. Okay, well, more importantly...
Thrills, chills, kills!
Let's hurry up to what everyone's been waiting for. The punishment.
I'm begging you! Please, don't do this!
Hey,
No more begging.
come on now.
You must pay the penalty for breaking the rules. Deciding the demand.
Stop! Please!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
No, 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 no!
I feel so bad for him.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
No!
Oh, that scream. A baseball Gatling gun? That's clever. Damn. You don't hold back on these, do they? What we saw, that was the true face of despair. I mean, if you can't call it that, what else could we call it?
Extreme!
Extreme! Man, my brother is right out of control.
I can't take it.
Well?
Okay, if you don't like it. All I gotta do is swear to cut all ties with the outside world and step living here forever. That's only every single one of you can get on board with that.
Damn you!
Man, frick you. Why the frick are you doing all this evil crap?
What the heck?
Evil? Make it sound like something the dark office that you get started kind of guy.
Say what?
The dark office here, secret society type of fair.
Well...
Why you can't upstanding young citizen like me for such a grueling ordeal?
Hey,
Everybody's common sense considering something that doesn't make sense. That's all, but let's just try to put a mile on his step. I just don't think it's possible.
Shit.
I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna pound your... Well, no. Well, you must really hate me to get so angry, huh? But if you do that, you're barking way up the wrong tree. What happened? Because more than one of you said you want to get out, right? No matter how much time passes, you can't touch breeze or go from the outside world. You want to run. Ooh, the outside world. Being trapped in some things. You're trapped, aren't you? Once someone's going to message your school, you think you can change the thing. You think, cool, you think, cool, want to know why you can live here forever?
What does this mean?
What is this kind of thing?
Hey,
I feel like there's some reason why I'm here and there. Just like before.
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
The Blacken's punishment. That's what everyone is waiting for, after all.
hey,
When you say everyone, who exactly are you referring to? Sorry, that's everything I gotta say. I need to say something fun for later. And just like that, he was gone. He left us overwhelmed by a nightmare turning reality. Even after he was gone, we stood there forever, unable to move. Actually, no, it wasn't that long, I think. Everyone just lost their sense of time. We were all too scared. Scared of being alone. No one even tried to speak. Their faces were stone, their voices dead. It was in that moment.
just a second.
Makoto, can I talk to you for a second? She moved in close and whispered into my ear.
Makoto.
Before we head back, there's something I want to talk to you about. It's about Sayaka, isn't it? I'm surprised you figured it out.
Listen.
I told you before the class trial started. You had to figure out the mystery of this case yourself. You wanted me to realize how Sayaka betrayed me by myself, didn't you? The thought not to even cross my mind. I feel like such a fool becoming such an easy target like that.
It's true.
Sayaka meant to double-cross you. That's a fact you can never change. But even till the very end, she wasn't sure of her decision, that's why. As she lay dying, she was thinking of you. She was thinking of me? You can't just say something like that. I mean, there's no way you can know that. Only Sayaka would know for sure. We can't ask her now.
However...
Even if you can't ask her, you can infer it, don't you think? Her final thought was how she could protect you. What?
So...
The fact that she used her last ounce of energy to leave her dying message proves it. If she didn't care what happened to you, she never would have left that message. Well, maybe she wanted to get back at the person who killed her.
Certainly.
That's certainly one possibility, but I don't think that's what it was.
Anyway...
She was uncertain. She wasn't sure she could kill someone, or deceive you, which is why her plan failed. Her hesitation attracted failure.
Right.
It's almost ironic when you think about it. Why are you telling me all this? Because you're the kind of person who overcomes us. Because you can move past the deaths of your friends, Sayaka and Leon, and keep moving forward.
Correct.
Without someone like that, the others would never be able to break free of such a desperate situation. Move past their deaths? I could never do that. No. I'm going to carry them with me the rest of my life. How could I possibly move past something like that? Leon, Sayaka, I'll carry them with me forever. I'll carry their memories with me wherever I go. So instead of forgetting them, you're choosing the hard road. Well, I have high expectations for you. As she said that, she revealed the smallest smile.
Hey.
By the way, I have to admit, I'm curious. How'd you know I want to talk to you about Sayaka? Oh, well, I'm psychic.
What?
Huh? Kidding. I just have pretty good intuition. Damn it, Makoto! Damn you and your wholesomeness. 12 remain. It's gone. Oh, well, thanks, Makoto. You beat me to it. She really is gone. It's almost like there was never anything there to begin with. Every last sign of Sayaka's existence has disappeared without a trace. It's just like you said. After the class trial, before we took the elevator back up, Monokuma told us.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I almost forgot. Since the class trial is over, I'll go ahead and dispose of all the corpses.
What are you gonna do?
It's okay. No need to thank me. Just seeing a delighted, smiling face is things enough for me. After nobody wants to look at a rotting corpse every day, that can't be good for your health.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to mourn Sayaka and Junko's deaths. I'm sure that's exactly why he did it. It's a bad joke, a sickening drink I took something to the other. I hit my dining room with the others. Sorry I'm late.
So,
Hey, are you okay, Makoto?
Listen to me!
You sure you took your sweet time? I was just about to go and get you and drag you back here. Sorry. So what happened? Was your room fixed up like you said? I know it's pretty hard to sleep with a rotting corpse in your bathroom.
Hey, come on!
Dude, that's fricked up, man. Why would you say something like that? My room is spotless. There wasn't anything left. Like the whole thing never happened.
I see.
Not because staying there knowing what happened. Why don't you just stay in Sayaka's room? Well, staying there with a sense of hanging in the air that would hurt just as much. Plus, I decided that I can't turn away from the death. Makoto. Hey, cheer up. Getting depressed isn't gonna help anything, right? If you all work together, I'm sure we'll find a way out of here.
You got it!
So everyone just try and cheer up and get back on track. Is that honestly supposed to make us feel better?
Huh?
We're already working together, and yet someone was still murdered. Anyone could betray us at this point. Now this happened once, it's a question of when, not if, the next one takes place. Yeah, it's because Sayaka made the first move.
Well...
But if you work together against the mastermind, nobody has any reason to do something like that.
Stop talking.
Keep telling yourself that. I'll be over here on the real world. Working together, fighting against a common enemy, like it or not, it's not that simple. What do you mean?
Are you okay with this?
Happiness seems to be much more powerful than we ever suspected. They took over Hope's peak. which is supposed to be able to find it, then modify it to fit their desire. And they created Monokuma, which seems to be incredibly advanced and they're providing for our every need. And the cherry on top is the execution we witnessed.
Honestly.
Everything's been planned out for the last excruciating way down. There's not the look of the everyday psychopath. The final one is too great a risk.
So then.
So what are we supposed to do? Enemy trees those want to skip us to follow the rules. In which case the only option is to see those around you and make it again.
No.
No.
What?
No what?
I can't take it.
It's killing someone else to do it. I don't want to kill anyone else.
Huh?
Anyone else? What do you mean?
It's because...
Leon died because we all voted for him. There's no difference of us killing him ourselves.
But...
So,
Voting him, they all would have died instead, right? That's the reason that you wanted, is it?
So it would seem.
She's right. If you heap that kind of blame on yourself, you're going to be a full-fledged masochist. Shihiro, listen. You're not to blame. Not you, not Leon, not Sayaka. The mastermind is responsible for everything that's happened. We had no choice but to vote. I can't even imagine what happened this far for years. In the end, it was Monokuma who ultimately killed Leon. So don't waste your anger on yourself. Instead, direct it at the mastermind. Speaking of the mastermind.
This is a school announcement. It is now 10 p.m. As such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Oh, and one other thing. It was totally obvious before that you were trying to make yourselves feel better and justify what you did. See you, don't see you, see you. That's about how much I can see you, even when you try to hide. Now pay attention and remember this well. The burden of judging others is a heavy one to bear, so be well aware of your actions.
Was that a pun? Swear all things holy.
Order and stability rely on the sacrifice and responsibility of everyone. Okay then, sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah! Bad bug just now. You think it's our fault what happened? That's pretty cruel, man.
Don't fuck with me.
And so, the day drew to a close. A tense, maddening day that saw the deaths of 3 classmates, Sayaka, Junko, and Leon. But this is just the beginning. Our despair has only just begun! Alright, we will be doing Chapter 2 in the next episode. We'll be doing Chapter 2 in the next episode. If you guys want to see that as soon as possible, please like this video, comment whether you want to see me do some changes to the series, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye!